Welcome to a Monday night discussion roundtable right here on the OHIO podcast. Everybody, do us a big favor if you don't mind. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribed to the show. We continue to grow in our subscriptions. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. If you're new, welcome into our live show this evening. We do this Sunday through Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern, every single week. And then we do a super secret after show over on Patreon. Link in the description below. Please consider joining us over on Patreon. It's a great time. We take the gloves off. We let our hair down. It's a lot of fun over on Patreon. Guys, if you would do me a big favor, if you listen to the audio version of this podcast, please give us a 5-star review. We really do appreciate our audio loving people. That's where we started. We started this thing back in 2019 on audio only before we came over here to YouTube, and we included video, which was probably a really bad idea unless you like the way my face looks, which is very few people, but God love them. Joining me this evening, Corey, TG, Alex. Here's what we're going to do moving forward. When I introduce you, just tell everybody where they can follow you. If you have a podcast, or if you have if you want them to follow you X or whatever, or just introduce yourself. That's what we're going to start doing. We'll go with you first, Corey.
Don't follow me. I'm good. So.
Fair. At least he's honest.
Yeah, I mean, give that to him. He is honest.
At least he's honest.
The doctor's like, I don't want you to. My practice is full. I'm not taking new patients at this time.
Just follow him here.
Yes.
Follow him here.
TG, where can they follow you? I know you got a podcast.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on the Spectrum, which I will put the link to the channel where you guys can subscribe in the comment section. Just did it. You guys can follow me there, as well as Facebook and X. You guys can follow me. You guys can find me on there. Just type in TG if you have to. On X and on Facebook, type in Tierra GI Sports. That's what you have to do to find me on there.
Alex?
I have a pretty basic name, so if you try to find me on Facebook, good luck. But everywhere else, I go by my gamer tag that I've had since I was in my teens, FlyDog92. Pretty easy to find there. You'll see me talking a lot of smack on Twitter.
Yes, you do. And if you're in for a good debate every now and then, Corey, who doesn't want you to follow him, is good for that. So, all right, guys, this ought to be interesting. Ohio State decided to go ahead and hire a new tight end assistant coach.
Didn't he just win the Super Bowl with the Seahawks?
What?
It looks like Sam Darnold.
Wrong one.
No, it's not Sam Darnold. Come on, man.
I don't know. All gingers look alike. I don't know what to tell
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Catch
Sheesh.
strays. Sheesh.
Yeah, my
Wow,
goodness.
man.
Anyways, Thomas Morton has been hired by Ryan Day and Ohio State to be the new tight end assistant over at Ohio State. Corey, since you're out there with the zingers here, well, I'll let you go first. Your thoughts? Your thoughts on the new tight end hire?
I have no thoughts. It's almost irrelevant. I mean, he's an assistant tight end coach, allegedly an up-and-coming coach. We'll see. Tried to look him up a little bit. I saw he was a QB coach at Samford last year, where the QBs were not very good, but that could be completely because they stunk. I don't know. So he made it just tried to make chicken salad out of chicken, like Caden would say, and so I don't know. I mean, it's like I was telling you earlier before the show. I was like, it's funny you didn't have me on for the Arthur Smith episode, but I get on for the Thomas Morton episode. So I got nothing for you. I mean,
Corey, this is like we bring you have the hard hitting facts, man.
Oh, hard hitting facts. This is kind of a no nothing hire.
I actually think it's not, and I'll get to that in a minute. But TG, go for it.
All right, so how I feel about this is I think it's I've heard a lot about the coach. He seems like a good hire, but I will tell you this. He used to be he was assistant/quarterback coach at Samford University, not Stanford, Samford. At Auburn, he worked as a QB analyst and assistant with on-the-field coaching, game planning, and recruiting at Auburn. At Troy University, he also was a graduate assistant responsible for coverage breakdowns, pass conceptions, and coaching quarterbacks. He went back to Auburn University in 2022 all the way to 2023. Where he assisted as a wide receivers quality control coach. And then he pretty much his entire background he has experience in coordinating scout team meetings and assisting with tight ends as well. He's also done during his time as coaching as well. His main skills are pass game planning, quarterback development, breakdown of coverage of opponent coverages, and recruiting and on the field coaching. From all that I had looked up, that seemed like I was like, ooh, Ryan Day might have secretly hired a good one here.
Alex?
Is this going to be the guy that gets in Ryan Day's face and says, throw it to 4? Because if not, I'm not interested.
No.
Okay.
No.
I mean, listen, this is just what happens in coaching, right? You got young up and comers that catch the eye of a major university, and you get some guy leaves, like we had our assistant tight end coach leave for Old Dominion to be their tight end coach. He comes in, gets his shot with the big boys, and eventually in 2 or 3 years, he'll probably get promoted somewhere to be somebody's tight end coach. So, it is what it is. Nothing that jumps off the radar to me. I mean, I guess this will help Keenan Bailey a lot since Ryan Day is grooming him to be our next offensive coordinator. And then we can watch our tight end heavy offense for the rest of eternity while we waste our wide receiver talent. So, yeah, it is what it is. Filler spot.
I don't think we'll waste the wide receiver talent because I'm not gonna lie, I do want our wide receivers and tight ends to be used at an elite level. Because I always said this, I want Ohio State's tight ends to be as good as Iowa tight ends. Yeah, elite at blocking and elite pass catches. This way, at least you could give our receivers a break when they need it.
Only so much football to go around.
Is that Chris the Wildman 72? Okay, yeah. No, it doesn't help with recruiting in the South. I'll just answer that right now.
He definitely brings some things to the table. Versatility with multiple positions. He's worked with QBs, wide receivers, tight ends, giving OSU another staffer who can bridge concepts across position groups. And he says he can help work recruiting in the South, and Corey disagrees. Now, here's what I think.
Why would he? I mean, it's like, you know what? I went to Ohio State for Thomas Morton.
Well, maybe in the future, it's a possibility.
Okay, yeah, if he becomes... Yeah, okay, but at this current position,
no, exactly. But here is a possibility, and you alluded to it, Alex, already. Ryan Day obviously thinks very highly of Keenan Bailey. He's made that well known multiple ways in multiple years. Keenan Bailey is not the offensive play caller in 2026. We do know that. Could he be the play caller in 2027 or beyond? Possibly. Or he takes the Brian Hartline route and he goes to another program to be the offensive coordinator. In which case, if that happens, we have our tight end coach on staff already and waiting. That is what I think this is. Now, Corey, you can tear that up if you like, but that's the direction I'm taking this tonight.
I mean, maybe. Okay, cool. We got another tight end coach up and coming. I mean, tight end coach is basically where they put you when they want you to learn how to be a coach.
So, what about the fact that he's worked with quarterbacks and wide receivers?
And they made him an assistant tight end coach.
Well, it is Ohio State.
Yeah. Again, it's just it's like a hey, we'll see what you got, maybe possibly type of position. It's not, I mean, we're gonna analyze them in a year or two and say, dude, do we think that we can up him or not? I mean, I think Alex is right. I think eventually in 2 years he'll probably end up at like Virginia Tech or something as their tight ends coach.
It's possible for sure. I mean, look, we talk about not cutting your teeth at Ohio State. Well, like Corey said, this is one of those coaching positions where, you can cut your teeth there at Ohio State. I mean, he's been other places before. He's never been a tight end, like the main tight end coach, but it's just a tight end coach. When it comes to that position, it's like, it's basically
he's probably going to handle drills on the practice field.
Yeah.
stuff like
And he'll
that.
learn a lot from Keenan Bailey and
Yeah.
all of them. So if he ended up taking over, because like you said, Eric, I would much rather Keenan Bailey go somewhere else to elevate to be an offensive coordinator. And then, hey, if in like 3-4 years he does great and we have an opening, come on back.
I feel like that is the more natural progression for Ohio State.
He's going to end up Brian Hartline's tight end coach.
Well, that be a queaky dink? Well, but here's what's interesting. Ryan Day has now hired the last really 3 coordinators he's hired. The last 2, offensive coordinators, if you include Chip Kelly in that, and of course then obviously with Matty P, are NFL guys. I kind of look at Chip Kelly and say he's pseudo NFL. He was a head coach in the NFL for a couple stints. So, maybe you can label him that or not. I know he came from UCLA, but, you see what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
I feel like Ryan Day is feeling like I need my coordinators to be NFL guys or NFL caliber guys. And if you're not that, then you need to go become that, which means you're going to have to learn how to call plays. And I don't think it's going to be here at Ohio State. I'm hoping that's the direction he's going here, but there's some conflicting reports on that. Corey, your thoughts?
Is this still to do with Thomas Horton, or are you like we switched subjects all of a sudden?
Well,
it all links in.
It relates, but do you see what I'm saying with the...
No, I don't see what you're saying.
Okay.
I don't even think it connects at all, to be honest.
Because I think, it does. Keenan Bailey, if he's going to be the offensive coordinator, he's going to have to learn how to call plays before he does so at Ohio State.
Yeah. Can't make that mistake again.
I agree with that, but what does that have to do with Thomas Horton necessarily?
Because he would take Keenan's spot.
He take over.
Yeah. There's
maybe
pieces to this puzzle, Corey.
I don't think it's that deep, to be honest with you. I just think you got an assistant who sounds like an up and coming type of guy.
So you just no plan. We're just gonna throw our fishing pole out there. And
you know what?
We got one.
Yeah. Then tell me who Larry Johnson's successor is. Go ahead.
There isn't one.
That guy from Texas.
Yeah, that guy from Texas was the successor. Clark,
and we haven't replaced him. And
Larry Johnson doesn't need anybody until he says he's done and ready.
Well, that's not good.
What do you mean that's not good?
I don't like that philosophy. I want him to have a great assistant waiting in the wings.
Well, the good thing is
recruit.
Well, the good thing is we do know that Ohio State has been looking at people to replace him, such as Taylor, Clark, who is at Texas, or somebody else who's that last name of that other guy that Vader had mentioned.
Well, you got the defensive line coach at Miami.
No, I already mentioned Taylor, Clark, and then there was another one. There was another one who had a B in his name, and I can't remember the last name at all.
Oh, well, Vader's with us. He'll throw it in the chat. But I think that there's definitely a plan for these guys when they're brought on as coaches. Just like they have plans for players.
Especially if you're an assistant to a position coach. Like you're getting groomed for either another job or to step into that role if the person in that role gets promoted to OC and
they may not feel he's ready right away. So
but God, if we ever promote Keenan Bailey, we can't do that right now. We gotta listen. Brian Hartline did fine. I don't see Keenan Bailey doing as fine of a job if he got elevated immediately to that role.
Mainly because he hasn't coached for long enough for him to do that. Like
that's true.
Well, Keenan Bailey's coached longer than Brian Hartline.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was his assistant.
Yeah.
Or GA or whatever.
I'll look that up.
I mean, Brian Hartline's rise amongst the coaching ranks is very unique if you really think about it. Now, the only one I can even equate to that right now currently would be James Laurinaitis. Usually you don't become hey, my first job is a GA at Ohio State, and then, oh, by the way, we're now going to make you the position coach. Like that doesn't happen very often, but it did for both Brian Hartline and James Laurinaitis. Keenan Bailey was a GA. Keenan Bailey was a GA at Notre Dame. Then he came to Ohio State, and then he's worked his way up. He's actually the second longest tenured coach on this staff, next to Larry Johnson, if I'm not mistaken.
That wouldn't surprise me. If he's been here since 2014, I just looked.
So why the Keenan Bailey hate?
2016.
What do you mean hate?
I think it's a terrible idea to have a tight end oriented guy being your play caller. Just like I think it's a bad idea to have an offensive line oriented guy to be your play caller. I think if you're going to have a play caller, the best thing to do is to either have a former QB coach or like a former wide receiver coach be your play caller. I think that would yield the best results. That's why I wasn't like completely down on the Brian Hartline thing, because I'm like, well, he's the wide receiver coach. He's going to get his guys the ball. Now, did he always in the best ways? No, but I think he got trump carded on that, and got overruled. Yeah, right. But he got a little trump card, okay? Got big trump card, super big, okay? But anyway, I just think if you're going to have an offensive coordinator, I like a former quarterback coach, wide receiver coach. I think you get more results out of it that way. That's just me, though. I mean, I can't really think off the top of my head a former offensive line coach who really succeeded at play calling. Certainly not Ohio State. The last time we did that, he was all right.
He won a national championship at Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean that was a much different time in football.
Long time ago, but
that was a much different time of football. Football's a little different now than it was in 2000. But no, Chris, I don't want to throw 70 times a game, but if we have the weapons, we should be throwing to set up the run. And sometimes we get away from that. And when we went towards it, like against the team up north, worked out pretty well. But I think sometimes we're just so hell-bent on establishing the run that if it's not there, we just panic and then we don't go to our bread and butter quick enough. So I don't know. I more power to Ryan Day for filling a spot here. He must see something in the guy. I keep hearing everybody say, well, Ryan Day has earned the benefit of the doubt when it comes to these hires. Well, I mean, I'm in the mindset of, after the last two games, I'm like, well, Ryan Day had my trust again, and then he lost it because he kept making the same dumb mistake. So I'm back in my wait and see period with Mr. Day. So we'll see if it ends up being a good hire.
The thing is, I think Ryan Day tends to just get in his own way sometimes because he gets kind of stuck in habits that won't go away very easily. Like, it'll take a bit of time. He'll get like, we see him get out of his habits, but sometimes he'll go right back to it. So I'm not gonna like criticize him for that fully, because what's funny is, and I want to kind of give Chris Drew a shout out for this because he actually brought this up. Nick Saban did an interview after the whole thing about and how they compared it to Ryan Day. Was Nick Saban said he did the same thing. It took him like 5-6 years to finally like change up how he did everything, to change his philosophy, to get out of his own way. So it took him like 5-6 years to do that. And in a lot of ways, you're kind of seeing the same thing with Ryan Day. It's taking him a bit to kind of get out of his own way, to change his philosophy. And I think, but you're starting to see him do it. And I will say that with tight end coaching, I think, and what I think Ohio State wants to do with the tight ends, and they want to start making them weapons like they do with the receivers. Because if your tight ends are every bit the weapons the receivers are, when everybody can just focus on your wide receivers, now they got to focus on your tight ends too, which would make defenses have to question a lot too. Like I said, you kind of want them to be like Iowa's tight ends, where they're elite pass catchers, but also elite blockers when you need them to be.
I've said it before, when it comes to like the offensive line recruiting, I would sacrifice not always getting like the Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tates of the world if I could get some like real dudes in the trenches, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I would sacrifice some wide receiver talent for some higher level tight end talent if that's how we're going with it, as long as it balances out. If I can get like a Terry McLaurin type wide receiver, and you get me like some of these tight ends the team up north's got, some of the tight ends Iowa's had. Yeah,
TJ
if I can get that,
Sam LaPorta.
That's a nice balance for me. I'll take it.
I think that's the direction they want to go. Because think about it, Keenan Bailey wasn't just also a tight ends coach. Like, remember, he was an assistant under Brian Hartline too with the receivers, and then he ended up moving out to tight ends. And the thing that we're starting to see Keenan Bailey do with the tight ends is he's trying to apply what Brian Hartline did in the wide receiver room to the tight ends, except he's doing it in a different way. Where again, the tight ends are basically like your combination of a tackle and a receiver. They have to be both of those. So he's trying to get them to be elite blockers as well as elite pass catchers, to balance out with the receivers. So that way we at least can say we have some weaponry where we don't rely on the receivers 24/7. Because here's the thing. Jeremiah Smith going to get double teamed. Carnell Tate going to get double teamed. Or anybody else on this team. Like some of the best receivers we have are going to get double teamed because teams are going to try to take them away. Make them have to think about your tight ends too. Just like how we have to say, make them think about your running backs. Get these guys more involved as well. Do the same thing with your tight ends. Make them have to worry about those tight ends a lot too. Because when you have that kind of weaponry, your offense is really just like think about it like this. You have, and for granted, JJ McCarthy, you got the Vikings GM fired. Thanks a lot, buddy. We all predicted that was going to happen. You had Justin Jefferson with James Addison and TJ Hawkinson. That is a great combination for a quarterback to have as far as a great balance of an elite tight end and receivers. Or what the Detroit Lions has with Jameson Williams, Armand St. Brown, and Sam Laporta. Or what we see the San Francisco 49ers have with George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and who's the other one? Deebo Samuel. Like, those are great balanced combinations of elite receivers with elite tight ends. And because if you can have that, it really makes your offense hard to stop. Go along with an elite run game if you have that. Or just a good one.
I just don't know if we can count on that, TG, from year in and year out.
I'm not saying we can count on. I'm not saying we're gonna count on that, but at least like make our tight ends somewhat respectable at least.
Yeah, and they have been in the past. We've seen it before. Cade Stover was a fantastic tight end. We've had some in the past. It's just at Ohio State,
they don't take it seriously enough.
The tight end has to be able to block first. That's just and they've tried this, hey, you're the receiving tight end, you're the blocking tight end. And when you do that, you're kind of signaling to the defense what you're going to do. And I think that's one of the reasons why we saw so much 12-man personnel was because you had a receiving tight end out there and a blocking tight end out there. At the same time, you're trying to say, well, what's it going to be? Well, we became very
that's the
predictable.
problem.
We became very predictable. Now, you also mentioned, TG, something about Saban in your comment earlier, and I want to get Corey's take on this next. I think one of the things that most head coaches do, including Ryan Day, is when things get chaotic or changes happen, you fall back into your comfort zone. And I feel like that's kind of what happened at the end of the season when the Brian Hartline stuff happened. Ryan Day fell back into his comfort zone because that's what he knew. You agree, Corey?
Not totally.
Okay. Do tell.
First of all, I don't agree that he doesn't adjust. Ryan Day is one of the most adjusting coaches in college football. He adjusts all the time. He's even adjusted his defensive philosophy. It was straight up single high man press. He's actually given away on that quite a bit. He's gone from run and gun, shoot it, outscore you, to control the ball, control the clock, control the game mentality because of the way the game rules have changed. This guy adjusts all the time. He's not unwilling to fire coaches even mid-season. I mean, I just don't agree that he. And I look at the Miami game, for example. We lost simply because of execution, not because of play calling, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Julian Sand hits Max Clare wide open in the middle of the field before he throws a pick six. We won the game. That's the game right there. The philosophy we have to play with right now because the clock rules don't, or that Ryan Day's trying to play with anyway, I should say, doesn't. If you get behind 14-0, it's hard to come back from. But if he likes to. Very clearly now, and it's an offensive philosophy. I mean, it's an NFL philosophy too. You look at the condensed formations we run now. Look everywhere. Look at the game yesterday. The only time New England spread it out was when their freaking offensive line was just getting teed off on, and you need to get everybody out in space. But everybody goes to condensed formations now because that is how you disguise your run and pass. Whether you have 12 personnel, 13 personnel, 11 personnel, whoever it is. Now, where I disagree with Ryan Day a little bit is where we would take Carnell Tate off the field for a Jelani Thurman or whomever. I think teams like the Rams and Seahawks specifically are very good at keeping their wide receiver playmakers off while keeping that condensed formation and disguising their looks. Arthur Smith, by the way, yes, he's been up and down as an offensive coordinator in the league, but sometimes he doesn't have the talent to work with, but he is a genius at this. He's a genius at disguising those looks and banking defensive reactions. You're going to see first quarters where we have 2 and 3 yard rushing gains, and everybody's going to think, look at these play callings. Play calling's terrible, but he's actually banking defensive reactions for later in the game. That's what was happening with Ryan Day. Look at the Indiana game and the Miami game. Our offense started to move. Now, we didn't always finish. I give you that. I'm not saying it was perfect, but our offense, we had like a 75-yard drive and an 85-yard drive against Indiana, and up into the second quarter against Miami, we're moving the ball. The third quarter, immediately, we're moving the ball. The one drive I have scratched my head on was that 7-play, 6-minute drive that made no sense. I'll give you that. But overall, I think Ryan Day's philosophy has been pretty solid, but the players don't always execute it. And the offensive line this year took a major step back with Tyler Bowen. That's the one I'm questioning right now. And you could say Ryan Day may have goofed up that higher. We'll see, I guess. But with Arthur Smith, will he improve that? That's usually been his gimmick, as he improves the offensive line. But he didn't with Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh has no talent there. So I'm actually fine with Ryan Day. I think Julian Saint being a young quarterback and getting shaken a little bit really screwed us up towards the end of the year. Plus Hartline having to switch play callers in the midst of our 2 most important games didn't help. Yeah. So that's where I go with that. Did that even answer the original question? I almost don't remember the original question.
I loved it. I was like, man, that's. I just saw like 2 or 3 little mini videos through that. So thank you, Corey. That was
no. That's good. What you're looking for.
So no, I'm not necessarily.
Can I cut it up?
Not necessarily. Would either of you like to reply to that?
I would like to reply to what Chris Wilds' last comment was.
I'm sure you
when
would.
He said good night all.
If you want to throw that up on the screen, so then
I sure can, just for you, Alex. I will. I will. Let's see if I can find it up here. This one? I'm just kidding.
No. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yep.
Alex has that. Alex is really mad.
Yeah. You betcha. Because if we miss the playoffs at any point, I don't care how how hard the schedule is, it's unacceptable. Especially in a 12-team playoff. I can forgive it in a 4-team, not a 12-team. And if it expands to 16, even less forgivable then.
I agree with that, actually.
so hopefully that doesn't happen, or else this show's going to be really fun when I'm on it after that would happen. And if we lose, if we lose that Team Up North game, good Jesus Lord, especially since I'm going to it, since it's at home this year, I need to see another win at home. It's been a little bit. Last time I was there, 2018. I need it. I need it in my veins. Ryan Day, don't fail me.
Before I go to the news,
bring me back in, Ryan. Bring me back in.
Before they built the new stadium, I would love to go to the original Horseshoe, because, like I said, I've never been to a game there ever.
They ain't gonna build a new stadium. You got plenty of time to go to that.
You don't have to say the exact city, but where in Ohio are you?
I'm in Chicago.
Oh, you're in Chicago?
Yeah, I'm in Chicago.
She's in Chicago, Ohio. Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. If you want to go to a game, there's a ticket with your name on it from me. You pick the game, we'll
go. Listen to that. Nice.
You pick the game, we'll go.
All right, guys. I got a audio clip for you for the second part of the show.
You cut up my audio already?
Yeah, that's how fast I am. Look at that. I'm Speedy Gonzalez over here. I have an audio clip from Austin Ward. He's on the radio on 97.1 The Fan. He makes a comment that really flabbergasted a lot of people. And at first I thought, no way. And then I got to thinking about it. Now I'm not so sure. I want to play this audio clip. It's only like 48 seconds. And then I want to get your opinion of what he said. Check this out.
You can't just offer every player whatever they are getting elsewhere, because you go back first to the position room and then to the offense as a whole and then to the entire team. And you simply cannot have a $100 million roster, which is what it would cost. I'm telling you right now, if Ohio State players all of them on scholarship, took the highest market offer available to them, that's what it would cost to keep them. So you're balancing all that with what makes sense for Ohio State, what's fair for the player, and building an internal salary cap that you can work on and allows you then to build a culture where money is not the primary motivating factor for everyone on your team.
$100 million. Wow. Is he right, Corey?
Well, what are you asking if he's right on or not? I
If
gotta
our
get this.
roster is valued at $100 million.
I mean, I think he was probably embellishing a little bit, but I think what he's saying is the market's so crazy for our players that you could probably get close to that. I know what he's saying, and I think what he's saying is actually 100% true. Is
Yeah.
like you gotta balance the fact that a lot of these guys are getting crazy freaking offers from other people, plus you trying to have a culture that's not completely solely based on how much money I get to play here. And I don't think what he said was really wrong. I don't know if the figure is accurate or not. I mean, I think you could say 50, you could say 75, you could say 100. I think Jeremiah Smith, you tell me we're paying him about $4 million. Do you think somebody's not offering him $8 million? You know, I mean, I don't know, or for sure not. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami's not offering him something like $8 to $10 million. He's that much of a game changer. So Julian Sand, did he not? Did people not tampering with him, trying to get more money, especially the more, he gets down the line in his career where he gets more experience. I mean, these teams like Indiana, they love these experienced quarterbacks. So how much would they value to pay somebody like that who's been working under Ryan Day? I mean, Bo Jackson, we saw what we had to do to keep him. We had to basically double his salary. So who knows if he got offered more or not. It wouldn't shock me if it's at least close to true. And it's Ryan Day's burden right now, unfortunately. That being said, he's getting paid $12-13 million a year to handle that burden. So I'm not weeping for him, but still, it's hard to be a college football coach right now.
$100 million with 90 people on your roster is $1.1 million per player.
Well, some of those guys are getting mass millions. So Julian Sand's commanding quite a bit of money.
True. I'm just giving you the average on that.
Yeah.
By the way, the NFL salary cap right now for an NFL roster, the best of the best in the world is $300 million. So you're equating a 90-man roster at Ohio State as 1/3 the value of an NFL roster,
which is 53 million people.
Yeah, 53.
I'm just saying, okay, could Jeremiah Smith play in the NFL right now today?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Could have last
Sure.
year.
How many more on the roster could? A handful?
It doesn't matter. Bryce Underwood couldn't play in the NFL right now, and he's getting 13. I mean, who cares? It's not a good argument because it's like they're just paying these kids crazy money. We made the argument on here because they haven't set foot on even a college football field, and teams are already. There was Florida offered a QB $13 million even before Bryce Underwood. I forgot what his name was. It's just
Jaden Rashada.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. It's like these are crazy figures. The SEC and everybody.
Whose career ain't going well, by the way.
Yeah,
well,
he's going on his third or fourth school already. Somebody
blew some money there, obviously. I mean, we're getting our bang for our buck with Julian and Jeremiah so far. But I mean, I guess it's just like, how much is Nike money in Oregon gonna give? I mean, it's like all these programs are poaching. Texas Tech, my gosh, they'll buy anybody and everybody.
Yeah, it was interesting that this comment was interesting to me because I don't know how many of you saw last week when Mr. Beast, y'all know who he is, right? The most famous YouTuber of all time, most richest YouTuber ever, who apparently is a fan of East Carolina. Someone tweeted at him. It's where he's from. And he works with the university.
Is that where he went to college?
Okay. No, he never went. I don't think he went to college. He just worked at the university.
The YouTube career took off. He didn't really need it.
So, anyways, long story short, someone sent him a message about, hey man, you should drop a cool $100 million on the Pirates football program, and he retweeted or whatever it is, I think on Instagram, whatever that's called, where basically he made
On the
a
interwebs.
he made an AI picture of himself with all this money saying, "Should I?" And it sent all of course, CBS and Fox and Yahoo Sports, they all made these articles on it, right? And they're all talking like $100 million roster. And then Austin Ward says $100 million roster is in Columbus, Ohio. And I just thought it was interesting. TG, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Austin is completely. Now, when we're talking about what you just said, half of the roster of Ohio, like how the Ohio State roster is valued, like half of what the NFL like roster,
a third of an
like
NFL
a third
roster.
of that is not shocking. I mean, we've even seen backups, guys like Zen McCaskey and them who've gotten like big dollar deals from other schools, and they ain't never even played on the field here at Ohio State. And when they did play, they weren't great, but teams valued them because they at least got some development here in some form or facet. So I don't think Austin's completely wrong. And here's the thing too, like what Jeremiah Smith and Julian saying, their money is made because they proved it on the football field. Like Ohio State's not going to give that out freely, no matter who you are, unless you prove it that you're on the field. Like Jeremiah Smith proved it in his freshman year. Remember, this guy got what, $800K in his freshman year, and then once he started playing on the football field, that number went up a lot, and then all the way to like $4 million as to how much we're paying him right now. And then you look at what he's doing in his sophomore year. You don't think that's not going to go up after what he just did? And Julian saying, this guy, I know for a fact he's making over $1 million because what he just did as a freshman. Now, yeah, his last 2 games he didn't play great, but we all know what the cause was there. But I don't think Austin's wrong. It's just that, and that's the unfortunate truth of college football. But do you want to know a little have you guys ever watched the Big Ten Huddle, what JR has said, actually?
Mm-hmm.
He actually did mention this, that the Big Ten is planning to, like, there's potentially some kind of partnership that could be going on between the Big Ten and the NFL because they want to take on the NFL's structure as to how they do things. Now, Roger Goodell did do a little press conference during the Super Bowl talk. Now, they didn't dwell on it much, but he did say that we're willing to we're ready to jump on the partnership in college football if we're ready. So it's kind of like I would say that for Ohio State, you're pretty much doing everything that the NFL is doing. Your roster practically that because that's what you have to do. And I do believe that we do have an internal salary cap because Ohio State has 36 sports that this football program is paying for, so they can't just spend money on the football program all willy-nilly. Secondly, they do have to budget because of that, but also they want to build a culture where it's not based on money. Like you want to be able to at least have a culture because here's the reality. If your players are bought with just money, they're not going to be loyal to you no matter how much you want to spend it. I mean, ask Auburn, ask Texas A&M, ask a bunch of these schools that have had paid for their players, and look how well that worked out for them. It done fell apart so many times. So, I don't think Austin's wrong. And Troy, Zen went to Indiana.
We can get rid of that men's basketball program and
Oh,
put that money
don't
towards
even
football.
go there.
Stop it.
Just stop.
We can do
Just
that.
stop.
I'm with Alex.
That
That's
would
2
make
votes.
me happy. We can stop wasting our time with this clown show that we keep putting out there. Look, when I was looking at the show notes, I hadn't heard this Austin Ward comment. It said $100,000, and I said, "What is he smoking?
I'm sorry.
$100,000?"
$100
I'm like,
million.
That's
boy,
what you told me too, and I was like, I'm
like-
not understanding this.
I'm like, man, are we that cheap? Like, now, but I mean, $100 million makes sense, but and that's one of the things with Ohio State that I think that they're doing either as well as the best, or maybe even a little better than the best, is they're making sure that they don't overspend for guys who will end up being cancers to the locker room, all that good stuff. There's been players that we've went for in the past who have kind of shown their true colors a little bit at other schools, and all the posts like the what's that Hayes Fawcett guy will be like, oh, Ohio State's in the mix since he's transferring from this school, and then we're like, we don't even go for him again the second time around because like that Jordan Seaton, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing a really good job at that. There's obviously a fine line there when it comes to that, and I think we're towing it pretty solidly. But this was one of the biggest concerns I had, and I talked about it on the show I used to do when NIL started. And it was like, okay, well, let's say, and this is a broad example here, but let's say you're like UConn, right? Well, football is king. So that's where usually the majority of your revenue is going to come from. But UConn's a little different, right?
Mhm.
They're big basketball school. And
Just like Ohio State, yeah.
it's like, oh yeah. Are the women's basketball players going to be okay not getting paid as much as like the male basketball players, because women's basketball there's a lot more successful than men's usually, but they're both pretty great right now, and stuff like that. And then when I thought about it in Ohio State's perspective, I'm like, man, you know, are these basketball players going to be okay with the football players getting paid more than them and stuff? And within the football team, how are these players going to handle not being paid as much as another guy if they think that they're better than them? And it's because they're young adults. They're not in that professional setting. At the time, it wasn't really a professional setting yet. It could have caused a lot of turmoil. And I think Ohio State's navigated that pretty well, not creating inner conflict within like who deserves what and all that stuff. Obviously, if you're an offensive lineman, you're not going to make $1.1 million a year or whatever the average you said would be per player if we were $100 million. But I think we have a decent structure there. It can be improved upon. If I had to guess what our whole roster is probably worth, I would say probably half of that makes a little more sense than 100 million. But at the end of the day, I guess the only way to really gauge that is to look back in like 4 years when all of them are in the NFL, see how much they're making and add it up. And I guess that'll be about your ballpark answer. Except the guys who end up getting like out of their rookie contracts and then end up making a crap ton more in the long run. So, it'll be interesting to see how this goes going forward. I don't know anything about a Big Ten deal with the NFL. I don't know if I've heard that, but the NFL can't even pay for their own Hall of Fame. So I wouldn't expect that.
I think it has to do with the basically restructuring of the Power Four. W Buck 21. I still don't understand. What is the return of investment? It's a great question.
Depends on the player.
Yeah.
Don't
you think it depends more on the outcome of the season?
That too.
That too.
Obviously, we just went 12-2. Didn't accomplish one of the three of our goals, and Jeremiah Smith is always a guy who's a return on investment every single time, basically, except for the games he was out, of course. But Caleb Downs was another guy. Always got your return on investment on him. And then, yeah, like you said, the outcome of the season, of course, that's the cumulative return of investment. We got a little bit, but not what we wanted ultimately. So I'll always say this year was a successful year because of that. But a lot of other people don't feel that way, and that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But, player by player, game by game, it's different, the return on investment.
Either you want to address that?
I mean, I think he's asking like monetarily what it was the university get back type of thing, but I could be wrong. Obviously, I think it'd be similar to what an NFL return on investment would be, right? Why do they sign a big name player? Obviously, merchandising and putting butts in the seats and bringing in revenue to the program, obviously, which I guess is TG alluded to. We have to pay for a lot of programs. Synchronized swimming needs their bucks. So,
well, at least they win a lot of national championships. At least,
do they though?
I'd get rid of the basketball program before synchronized swimming.
Amen. Amen, brother.
Yeah, I mean, understandable, because at least, like I said, at least the synchronized swimming program has won multiple national championships.
Keep the pistol team, keep the women's hockey team, keep
women's basketball, keep them. They at least do pretty well.
Keep them, so. Yeah, they're solid.
And they're still doing good, too.
Even though their coach,
The problem with all of that is that all of those are drained financially on the athletic department, where men's basketball is not.
And Title IX.
It's a drain on my soul, Eric.
I know. Trust me.
Well,
it
again,
is painful to watch.
Do what I do.
The one thing
Don't
they
watch.
could do is is move all those sports that drain the money to clubs. And guess what? Now you're gonna pay much.
Make club football a real sport.
Club football is a sport there. They have one. They're
I know, but
national
like
champions.
make it a
I was
funded
talking about-
sport because they deserve it more than they deserve
Wait,
basketball's money.
You can't do that.
You can't do it right now.
Oh, this show's off the rails
Hey, at
tonight.
least, hey, look, like I'm really even just talking about the sports that like give us the Olympic type of sports, basically
I want a
gymnastics,
curling team
synchronized
in Ohio
swimming,
State.
all of that. If you have to turn them all into, even the pistol team, turn them into a freaking club sport. Now you ain't spending money on them no more.
He clarifies for you, Corey.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, something financially. What is a person like when they donate, and what are they getting back out of it? Whatever they make a deal with the program, I'm sure. I mean,
If a donor is giving money to Ohio State, yes, he can count that on his taxes. Absolutely, it would be considered a donation. A player, like, I think that's different. That becomes more of a contract for goods or services. So an NIL would be like, let's say, let's just take Schottenstein, for instance, right? Schottenstein gives a bunch of money to Ohio State. He can write that off on his taxes. He gives a bunch of money to Jeremiah Smith to be the new face of Value City Furniture. That is different. That is him paying for his services as a name, image, likeness, as almost like a spokesperson for his company. That is a very different thing on your taxes.
Which is
So I
what
think-
NIL is supposed to be, by the way.
Which 100% correct, yes. And so what would his return on investment be there? Hopefully more Ohio State fans would come to Value City Furniture and buy the Jeremiah Smith recliner, okay, or whatever he's pushing, whatever product that
I got a Red
is.
Bull because of him.
Because of Jeremiah. Did you really buy a Red Bull just because of Jeremiah Smith?
Yeah, there's 2 cans. He's on them. I'm gonna have him sign one eventually.
All right, there you go. Well, there you go. There's
that's $25.
Nah, it'll be more. He'll be like
It'll be a lot more than
the
that.
way they're charging right now. 200 minimum. For
He
him,
can't
I
be as
guarantee
high
it.
as Buckeye guy. No, I'm kidding.
Did you see what Will Howard was? Will Howard was $150.
Also,
like,
Jeremiah Smith's going to be 1,000. Then okay.
They don't even charge that for like Troy Smith. They don't charge. Oh my God!
But
he's so
the older you get after you get out of the league, the lower your price goes on your signature. The most value you will ever get as
That's
a
right.
player at
That's
Ohio
awesome.
State for your autograph is right when you are on the team or right after you graduate. That is the highest value for your autograph, and then it goes downhill unless you end up becoming, a Hall of Famer or something, and you have
Yeah.
very little on the market. But you can still find a lot of these guys. They're cashing in so much. There's tons of autographs on the market.
Which again, the autograph scene is another thing NIL is supposed to be, not
You're
what
right.
it is right now.
Correct. Absolutely, 100%.
It's crazy how off the rails it is.
Yes or no? Ohio State's roster is worth $100 million. Just yes or no.
I agree with Corey. I think it's embellished. I think it's maybe half that.
Yeah, I'm about to say I think it's half that. So no.
I don't really care.
You
Just
don't,
win. Just win,
yes,
baby,
Yes or no,
win.
Corey? Is it worth $100 million? Is it valued at $100 million?
Maybe.
He's feisty today. Corey's feisty today.
I don't know. Who cares? Yeah, sure.
He's
Why not?
feisty.
Okay. I mean, I just don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
I don't. I'm sorry. I
What do you think it is? I think it's 50
Obviously,
million.
I would say it's probably somewhere in the ballpark of 40 million.
That's fair.
If Texas is going to
Valued? Valued. That's the question.
if Texas is going to spend $40 million
I mean, I don't care
on their
anymore.
roster this year, how in the world is Ohio State going to be above that?
That's not what he's saying, though, Eric. He's not saying we're paying $100 million for our roster.
I know he's not.
Okay.
He's saying if our players all left and got the top value for what there's being offered, it would be $100 million.
And I
but
don't know that it.
I don't know that I agree with that.
think it'd be definitely more than what we're paying by a lot.
What do you think we're paying?
Probably in the
I
30
mean-
to 40 range.
Yeah, I mean,
And how-
I could see where he's coming from with that because, like I said, you even got backups who've never seen the field somehow getting a lot of payday on their paychecks, and it's like, why, how?
Vader said it in the chat. Julian could get $8 million, and I absolutely agree with that.
That's the best player in college football.
Julian Saint's the best player in college
No,
football.
I'm sorry. Did he say? I thought you meant Jeremiah Smith.
No,
My bad.
Jeremiah could get more than.
I
maybe
think-
did we lose?
I
Alex?
would say Julian Saint is like the second best quarterback in college football behind Mendoza. You know,
Well, Miami just spent what was it, 11?
How much did Ryan Day say initially when this all started? That
12 to 13 million. Remember that comment?
yeah.
Ryan Day's longing
and
for
and
those
when
days.
when he said it, I was like, you hope, but you're gonna start finding guys that want that cashish a lot, and since there's no guidelines, it's like, well, we can just ask for whatever we want.
Go down the line. You don't think Luke Montgomery can get $2 million somewhere?
I don't know if he's getting that.
I bet he could get $2 million from a pro. I mean, I'm not saying
Maybe.
he's worth $2 million. I'm saying there's a program out there who will pay it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Again,
If
there
they're
are
desperate.
programs out there. No, there are programs who are willing to do that. Like I said,
That-
you got programs who have paid our backups and guys who were not good enough to play at Ohio State more money than what Ohio State was ever willing to pay for those guys, even when they weren't great. Like I said, McCaskey actually got more money from Indiana than he got from Ohio State. And it's
Is
like,
this happening at any other program then, Corey?
no?
You mean like Texas? You're saying like is it?
No, like is there any other program right now like Ohio State where it's like, hey, all your players would bring more value on the market than what you're willing to pay because they are at your program?
If there is, it's very rare. I know Ohio State's in rare territory with that. So
The only program I would have said that could have done that is Bama if Nick Saban was still there.
yeah, I could say that. I could see that for sure.
I agree with that, TG, but he's not.
No, that's what I'm
Um,
saying. If
Kirby
he was
Smart
still
at
there,
Georgia?
I believe Kirby
No.
Smart at Georgia would agree. Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, it could be, but I don't see it right now, especially.
So
with these
if
players
that's the
getting-
case, and I think you're picking up what I'm putting down here, Corey.
No, I don't actually.
This is an unfair. This is totally unfair for Ohio State, then, right?
What do you mean totally
Be-
unfair? What?
because we're Ohio State, your value because you're on Ohio State's roster automatically means you're going to bring more in the market simply because
know
you're at
what?
Ohio State.
Urban Meyer used to tell crybaby quarterbacks, I don't want to hear you crying. You chose a job at Ohio State. This is part of the brand. It is what it is.
heavy is the head that
He-
wears the crown.
Thank you. Alex just summed up everything.
You know,
right there.
it's actually.
So
pretty
then
much
why
that-
isn't
well,
Indiana's roster valued more then?
Because
they're
they
not-
2 years ago they were 3-9 and they survived Akron in 4 overtimes.
But they
They're-
just went
they're not
16-0
there.
and won a national championship.
they're not there yet, Eric. When they get
Yeah, I'm about to say.
because remember, just
They
last
haven't recruited on our level yet.
just last year when they got bounced by ND in round 1. Remember what everybody said? They should never be allowed in the college football playoff again. Indiana embarrassed themselves. They embarrassed the conference. They were such a fraudulent team. And then what happened? They got in and they went 16-0. The only other team to do it is Yale, back before
Yep.
your grandpa was born.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, they when they get that brand respect, and they got a good bump in that after this. If they can continue to do that and recruit on our level consistently,
Then yes,
And
eventually,
yeah.
develop.
Then
it's
all of a
replaced the
sudden-
NFL.
Okay, I understand all that, guys. I get that. Corey, you just said they haven't recruited like us.
Mm-mm.
Ohio State's not number one in every year in recruiting.
We're top 5 every year.
Top
yeah,
five,
but we're not.
Yeah,
we're top,
here's
I get
what
that, but
will
we're
say.
not number one.
Here's what I
And-
will
So
say.
why
I think-
is Ohio State in this stratosphere of your players are just valued more?
Well, actually, here's
Why
the thing.
is that?
Well, we do know Ohio State sends more talent to the NFL than anybody. But he is right when it comes to recruiting. But I will say in this regard, what is the one thing Ohio State's known for doing in recruiting? Other
getting 5 stars.
than development was actually what I'm going to say.
Not true.
Because it doesn't, because let's
Are
be
they?
realistic. What is the one thing that Ohio State does better than anybody? Develop.
I would
They
say
do-
Indiana's known for development now.
No.
What do you
I'm talking
mean
about
no?
modern-
What do
They
you
just
mean?
won a national championship
Yeah,
with
they
a bunch
are.
of
I'm
three
talking about-
stars.
No, they're known as that now, but I'm talking about all time. Like, what has Ohio State been known for? What kept them at the top for so long?
It's really simple. We have a 100-year history of success. That's why.
Exactly. And not only that, but it's like our ability to find guys like what we did with James Laurinaitis. Remember when James Laurinaitis, like, he wasn't the most athletic guy. He was some 2-3 star back when obviously the recruiting rankings were a thing, back when they mattered. Actually, back when they actually did get it right most times than they do now. But
Okay.
Ohio State was known for finding guys like that, as well as
I'm totally poo-pooing all this argument because
No,
100 years of history means nothing on a open market today. It doesn't
here's
mean
what I'm
anything.
here's what I'm
Eric,
getting
the
at.
answer
I
is because we
disagree.
get most media attention. That means
No, that's what-
nothing on an open market today.
That's what
If I am running, hold on, TG, if I'm running my own program and I am in charge of bringing in talent, it is my job to bring in the most talent at the best value possible. I am not simply going to overspend because this player played at Ohio State. That is the most dumb thing you could possibly do as a GM or whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot GMs are infallible and don't make mistakes and overpay people.
They do all the time.
That's our point. They do. We're not
Exactly,
saying
that's
these
what I was
guys.
getting at.
But that
Sure.
means
From
that has
beginning.
nothing to do with Ohio State, though.
Yes, it does. They overpay because it's an Ohio State player.
and they say they must have some good value to them. So we're gonna bring them in and see what that is. And
Eric,
if you strike out on it, that's on you. But if you
Why
end
did
up being
everybody
right-
start offering Chris Olave after we did?
Because they missed on him the first time around, big time.
Because they saw that we wanted him. And Zach Smith even spoke to this. Whenever we would offer somebody, we'd tell them to keep their mouth shut about it. Because then all the other programs, Ohio State offered him? There must be something
We
we're
got to
missing
look at that
here.
guy. We got to see his tape.
Yeah.
Well, and
We
to add
have
to-
that reputation. We just do.
to add to Corey's point, Indiana 2023 recruiting class rank 44, 2024 46, 2025 39. They start rolling now. 20th for 2026, now 14th for 2027. I mean, they're building that brand up, and right now, I would say they are where Ohio State was at in the like early to mid Tressel era, because Tressel, if you remember, a lot of his recruiting classes were ranked in the 30s, and he made it work. That's where they are right now. If they continue to like get all the way up into the top 10 every year, and they start recruiting and doing the portal like they have been, and player eval like Signetti's, he's the best in the Big Ten at it, point blank. If they keep doing that,
Ryan Day,
he's way better than Ryan Day.
right now.
If they do that, Indiana will start getting that brand respect, and then all of a sudden, Indiana will be the school where everybody goes, "Oh, Indiana offered that guy? Oh, might have to look at that guy. Might have to offer him too. See if I can get it from Indiana, because I don't want Indiana getting all the good players. Could happen. They got the billionaire to do it.
I see that my argument has fallen on deaf ears tonight.
No,
It's wrong.
Because it's
we
it's
get
not.
your
not
we
like-
get your
it's-
argument.
No, we get what you're saying too, but we're talking about from everybody else's standpoint. Because even though your argument makes a lot of sense, you also got to look at how people look at Ohio State's players, which is Ohio State. Look at this guy. Like, look at this Ohio State player. We think he could be something. You know, he may not have gotten playing time, but we think we could probably get more out of him. We think he could bring something to us. Because if
Eric-
Ohio State wanted him, then he's got something to him. We could probably do something. He could
You're
probably do something
arguing
for
that
us.
it's dumb, and logically you're correct. But people don't think in logic when they're running
They
football
don't.
programs.
They don't. That's where a lot of them are going. Like I said, you got people who were not good enough to play at Ohio State who got paid more money than they should have. And
Eric-
it's like, why? That makes no sense. But the biggest logic is, well, they were at Ohio State. They got some kind of playing time at Ohio State. They must be good in some sense. And it's like, no, they're not. No. no.
Eric, during the Urban Meyer era, would you say the team up north was worse or better than us as a program?
Oh, much worse.
Urban Meyer said that anybody that they were recruiting, he was looking at them.
Yep, 100%.
And that makes it sound even dumber, right? Because why would we
Yeah.
be looking at players a worse school than us is looking
That
at?
is
You know what I mean?
actually a very
Right.
very good point. But I can I can dismiss that by saying it because Urban Meyer was so
Helping
obsessed
beating me.
with
He was.
Michigan.
He was.
He
Yeah.
wanted to know every player so that he could laugh at half of them.
But to flip that too, I guarantee you he was paying attention to everybody Alabama was looking at because
Oh,
Nick Saban
now
was there.
Yeah.
that makes a good. That,
And
yep,
he's
you're-
like,
yep.
I need
Sure.
to get that guy from Alabama so Nick Saban doesn't have him at Alabama. And if they're looking at him, we need to be looking at him. He was insane about that stuff. And if he found out that an assistant of his wasn't looking at a certain player that he thought they should be looking at, he'd be like, "You're fired." And of course,
But
half the time
on
he
the
didn't mean it.
on the
but-
same token, I will say this, and then we need to go over to Patreon. I will say this: just because a player goes to Alabama, just because a player goes to Ohio State,
Of course.
Georgia,
Agreed.
Pickett, whoever,
No, agreed.
doesn't mean that automatically their value is increased. Although,
Agreed.
TG, you're right. Some lower level school will look at that and go, oh, yes, it does. I'll give you an example. There's been 2 or 3 guys leave Georgia who've gone to Purdue to play, and Purdue's gotten super excited about them because they played at Georgia, and then when they got to Purdue, they didn't do jack crap.
Yep.
Right.
So
That's
your
what
point-
it is, really.
Your point is correct. All right, guys, we've got to go over to Patreon for the Super Secret Show. The link is down in discussion below, in the show notes below. Excuse me. In the description. If you haven't joined Patreon, please do it. It only costs you $5 a month. You can sign up by month. Check it out 1 month. See if you like it. We're going to be heading over there right now. We will give us about 5 minutes to set it up, and then we will be live on Patreon. Have a good night, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with another video, and tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for another live show. Till next time, OH.
I
Ayo.
Go Bucks.
And Scum still sucks.